comics?
Well, I've been doing comics since I was in high school, and I can't draw, but I like doing comics. So I used to always do comics about me and my friends and everything, and we'd release little comics that I draw on, like, you know, line paper and stuff. And I kept doing that throughout college and everything, and mostly I just do comic about my life and working. And so anyway, when I met Hanji, she could actually draw. So we started doing comics, and we started out as web comics, and then she goes to art school, so she had to do an animation project, and so we used one of my cartoons, and I did the voices.
Nice. So, do you do all the voices?
Most of them. I mean, I think like in the last episode that we had, I do the voice of Adam and Bud, and I do the voice of some of the other peripheral characters, and then my buddy Ben he did like the voice of the caretaker and like.
Can I get a brat?
Yeah, that's him. I didn't do that. That was him. Like we were just sitting around drinking beer, and I gave him a script, and so I just had my mic, and he was recording different things, and he was like, "You want to hear how my freaking can sounds?" And you know, and he bases, and we went to school together too. I mean, he's like a few years older than me. He was friends with my brother, but he bases it off of like one kid we knew. You know, he'd always tear around the playground. We blueberry raked together for years, and he'd always be like, "I can take her up and dump the guy." Like, he'd always just be, even when he was like,
driving the guy.
Yeah, like, that was him actually. I'm still waiting for him to like demand like.
I think I work with him now up in Bangor.
Maybe. I think he lives around here. I'm still waiting to hear from him, demanding some kind of royalty or something like that. Because they all came for him on the blueberry crew. Like, the crew leader, everybody would be sitting on their buckets, and they wouldn't be raking. The crew leader would be like, "Come on, have some elbows, Jesus. What does it take to get you working?" And he'd be like, "No, good And then finally, he'd just give up. He'd be like, "All right, if I do some donuts, will you guys get to work?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And then he'd be like,
"Yeah, buddy."
Yeah.
Pulling up the devil horns and everything.
Oh, they'd be like, "Driving my guy." I mean, that's all we're smoking, you joker.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Davis.
Classic Maynard.
Rip up, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. And so much of that was drawn from blueberry raking, and then later I painted houses for a long time, and so we had that whole island experience.
That's awesome.
It's a merging of all that stuff we used to do, all those little whatever, and then Hanji's inspiration comes from like Japanese cartoons from like the 70s.
I see that with the big eyeballs, the early Japanime when it was like Dragon Ball Z the original with the subtitles.
Yeah, because a lot of people associate it with South Park and think the style is inspired by South Park, but I am a huge fan of South Park, but the style of drawing really is from Japanese anime style.
I love it. Do you do everything on the computer?
Yeah.
Really? Do you do it like frame by frame?
Yeah, certain scenes I do frame by frame, but the program I use, it basically can make the characters into puppets, and then just kind of move them around. But to animate them keyframe, it's still kind of frame by frame.
Wow. So how much time do you have in like a 10-minute cartoon?
10 minutes. Like 2 months. Yeah.
Months?
Yeah, 2 months.
Wow.
And that's actually really fast.
That's giving it to a hat.
That is giving it to a hat.
Yes.
Like 10 hours a day. Yeah.
Wow.
That's basically your senior project.
So Snowmageddon.
Yeah, that
was long.
That's a.
That was amazing, by the way. You both did a great job, definitely. And I think you guys are a great team. I mean, the writing is outstanding, but the animation, the way it goes with the writing, is friggin' stellar. Like it's perfect, in Snowmageddon, my favorite part is when they're doing like the loops and whatnot on the snowmobiles. Oh, that's just the best.
Oh, that, yeah.
That's a riot, and you can see that up in Millinocket on the pond, because I've seen that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, I've got to pin you down. What are some of your like Japanime, Asian animation, what are some of your like inspirations?
Well, the one that really inspired me with the style is this cartoon called TV Maruko. It's not popular here at all. It actually is a lot similar to what we're doing. It's about this little girl growing up in a poor fishing village in the 70s, and she just talks about her life, and it's really funny, and that's always been my favorite cartoon. But yeah, I watch like Slam Dunk and Sailor Moon from the 80s and 90s, all those, yeah.
But it's funny, like, oh, sorry.
Oh no, but you're talking about the snowmobile jumps.
Yeah.
That's a funny story, because we never went snowmobiling until...
I had when I was a kid.
Yeah, I never done it before. He does it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and I know nothing about snowmobiling, and we had friends and people help out with the episode, the writing and the jokes, but I have to bring the visuals, and so I spent 2 days straight watching X Games snowmobile.
Oh, you're a trooper.
I watched 2 days. I watched it like slow motion, back and forth, frame by frame, and then like it got up to the point that I know everyone's name and all their tricks. Who won,
awesome.
what champion? Yeah.
She got way little bit too into
Yeah, I did get kicked. Yeah, I was like stalking all the champions.
I bet none of them was toting a sled. That was great. I love the little dude that always like cruises behind. In his truck, man. I've got 2 friends that are just like that dude, man. That has like the massive truck in his garage. Oh my god! I think everybody in Maine has friends like that.
Oh yeah. It's all based on a true story, because there's all kinds of guys. Well, I mean that's always an issue. Like, I can't take my mutter on the road, and we had all these comments like, God damn right, I have the same problem of bringing cops are always trying to take me off the road, because I had a friend who was like, who would like taking his truck, and he's like a mechanic. I mean, he knows trucks in and out, and he had built this like big machine. He's taking up on the mountain, and he got pulled over by the cops, and he was like, and he literally said that he's like, there's so many things about this that if you don't get it off the road in the next 5 minutes and park it, I'm gonna have the boys from headquarters come down and dismantle it.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's funny, like on the islands too. You've got they're not used to having a lot of cops out there, so they just have a different way of looking at things.
With this beard festival, which I want to talk about that here in a minute. What do you see happening for O-Chain Comics? I mean, do you see it like maybe going somehow mainstream, or what do you see?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the people who get our cartoon basically live in Maine and New Hampshire, parts of Massachusetts and Vermont. I mean, I don't know how far our audience goes.
Perhaps upstate New York.
Maybe. I don't know, yeah.
We can hit Ontario on this one right here.
We could. I mean, I think it maybe depends what the subject matter is, but as far as the humor, I think it's a total inside joke, I think, for a lot of people. Because if you live in Maine, you sort of get it. But then some people, they send it around to their friends, like, other places in the country, who are like, what the hell is this? Like, they don't get it at all.
Yeah, I've been sharing the crap out of it on Facebook, dude. I put it everywhere, absolutely everywhere. He's great.
Oh, up north, all the stagehands for Bangor, they all brap, and we do a $1.20.
Well,
because we grew up with Driver MacGyver, you know what I mean?
Okay,
oh yeah, because I'm part of that 80s, 90s generation. So like all the old French dudes, Driver MacGyver, make it work.
Make it work.
We don't give a damn. We all on the same team, Bob.
But yeah, I mean
that's exactly the same kind of people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean our goal was to make a work cartoon. Yeah. I mean a cartoon comic originally about work, and so it's funny how I think a lot of people identify with it too because they identify with their sort of work lives, And we even had people. We always hear about people watching it on their iPhones and stuff like that at work. And we even had a guy from like a marina who contacted us and said he was having productivity issues, and it's sort of
that's like a wicked good compliment. Get a meaner away from his work. Come on.
No, but I don't know. I mean, that's the whole curse of the internet is like nobody would see our stuff if we didn't have the internet, right?
Right.
But then the other part of it is how do you figure out how to make a living off something that's
Right. But so I think what I've seen in your next step is you guys are actually going to be some of the stars, as they said it, for the first annual mustache and beard competition here.
Yeah. I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I think we're going to do like a panel showing two of our cartoons, Fantasy Island and
I noticed you got a nice beard.
Yeah. See, I can't do it.
I might be able to cut off a couple inches for you.
I appreciate
like just post it around the edges.
I'm sure. Hey,
you're like Junior.
Good. You got to talk to this guy to do some good impressions. This is where we both play off each other. But anyway, I don't know. I guess I looked at I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but there's films from all over the world.
Oh yeah.
And then there's stuff from Maine, and then we're in there as well. So it should be a lot of fun. They said it sells out. It's funny the coverage that the facial hair fest has got. I even saw it in the Guardian like a couple years ago. And he told me a couple years ago the China Daily, China Times, one of those Chinese newspapers sent their Washington bureau correspondent up to Maine.
No, it's South China Times.
Yeah.
Sent his Washington correspondent down to Portland.
Oh, was it South China? I don't know. Oh, China, Maine.
That's what I thought when you said China.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry, that's an inside joke inside the joke.
Right. Well, they had asked him, I think, on that show, like, what part of Taiwan? You're from where? You're like Taiwan? They're like
Taiwan, Maine, like next to China.
Just south of China.
Yeah. So there's some other guys that's going to be hanging out with you. I think Spose is going to be there.
Spose is going to be there. Yeah, we
are you guys fans?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of him.
We hung out with him the other night, actually.
Yeah, we did.
In the green room.
In the green room.
We went to a show at Port City, and Mount Brothers were there, and Spose is there, and we love Spose. And my 3-year-old nephew is a huge fan of Spose. He picks up the iPad and he goes right to the song and he starts playing like his favorite.
I just imagine a toddler jumping up and down saying, "I'm awesome."
Yeah. No, his favorite. I think is knocking on wood. That's what he's always like. Just jumping on.
Have you got the new one, King of Maine?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's like the ringtone for my children's cell phones.
Really?
It's really amazing when you think about all the talent here in Maine. I think we have one of the most diverse and really the best talent pools that I know of. It's really incredible.
There's definitely a lot, and it's funny because if you're people like Spose or the Mount Brothers or a lot of these guys, they're really talented. They could go somewhere and they could probably do a whole hell of a lot better somewhere else, and that's what everybody's done for generations. You always hear about different bands or whatever that started out here and then moved to like wherever, and so I mean, they're just dedicated to here. They want to stay here, and we've been able to sort of cultivate a scene here.
But it's good to hear people that are from Maine staying in Maine. Definitely.
Absolutely, and that's our goal. I mean, we came back here. We wanted to stick. Actually, we're moving back up to the mid coast at some point in the next couple months, but we want to make a go of it. And that's the other thing is we want to make a cartoon and continue to make a cartoon in Maine for Maine people. And so we're just seeing how that goes.
That's cool. But really, as a former contractor that worked on Sebago Lake, where nobody with Maine license plates actually owns property on Sebago Lake.
Right, yeah.
When I was watching the island, Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I was like, I know that dude. And I know that MF too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He didn't have shit pokes in his fish pond, but I mean, it was pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, those stories are all based on true anecdotes.
Well, that's the funny thing. I was hopping back on a lobster boat, coming back to MDI from Little Cranberry.
Yeah.
Like 2 summers ago. And we were going through like 12-foot chop.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "We'll drive him, a guy, but don't you worry a bit." And I looked at him, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me, dude." He's like, "No problem, Busta, we got this." And then I watch you, and I'm like, I I know that dude. He drives a lobster boat out of like North Harbor on MDI.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he ain't scared. He'll drive it, buck 20, 12-foot wave, don't give a bang.
Yeah, no, I'll never forget, we called ourselves the guy I worked for, we called it Last Resort Painting, because, you know, it was literally the last resort, you know, you couldn't find anybody, you know, they couldn't get mainlanders out here for nothing.
Nothing.
And so, anyway, I remember working on one house years ago, and they used to always leave all those notes, you know, like, you know, don't leave your tools in here, blah, blah, blah. My favorite one, and we always remember this, is every time I go into the bathroom, I see those wavy lines behind the toilet and I cry.
Oh, that's awesome. I might just love you a little bit. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it was quite an experience. You know. I still miss it. I was doing that for a couple of years.
It was cool. That is awesome.
All right, so everybody could probably come out and see it tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Everybody. Friday. Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, whatever. What's the date on Friday, man? Like, I've had a few beers. I don't even know.
Friday.
28th.
28th. All right. So.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a party too.
Yeah, it's after party.
A party.
Yeah.
I always go to parties. So. Is that open to the public?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
I think people, you should get there in time, you know, because I heard it sells out.
All right, man, so we're going to go ahead and end this interview. I really appreciate you guys letting me talk to you this evening. And yeah, AJ.
You guys are stellar. I just got to shake your hands on camera. It was so nice to meet the both of you. Thank you so much.
Bam! That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, everybody, check out O-Chain Comics. It's awesome.
O-Chain Comics.